you. Okay. Hold on, let me adjust a bit on the screen first. Okay, hi, a very good afternoon to all parents. Thank you for taking your time joining us today for the parenting sharing. Today, we're going to share about mathematics and also language. Basically, if you have any question regarding how can you teach mathematics at home or how languages you can conduct language at home, please do raise a question. So I try to help you. We try to help you as much as we can. Okay, parents. Hi, I'm Samantha from TSP Parent Identity. You know me. I'm Samantha from Green Mandels Montessori. Thank you once again. And today topic is about maths. And since I can't see your faces, but if you would like to turn on your camera, will be great as well. And if you have any question, please do unmute yourself and ask question. And I got a question for you before we start. Are you a maths person? So you can just type in, or if you can just, show your video and then nod your head, give it thumbs up. Thumbs up means you are a maths person. Thumbs down means nah, not really. And then how challenged is mathematics for you? So when I ask this question, perhaps we have to bring our level back to when we were very young in kindergarten at that time, 4, 5, 6 years old perhaps. Okay, is that maths challenge for you? And is language difficult to learn? So these are my 3 questions that I would like to share with you. Are you a maths person? Okay, so I did ask this question, and my lecturer did ask this question as well. Are we a maths person? Let's look at how mathematics in here are being taught in Montessori classroom. So parents, we go back to the sensitive period. If you join us in January, where Miss Sophie, she did share, I'm sorry, that's about in December or in January, did shared about the sensitive periods and also absorbent mind. So since today we go to the mathematics, let's go back to do a quick recap on the sensitive periods from birth to 6 years old. So today we are focused on maths and also language. So as you can see, language is actually the child is being exposed since the birth, since 0 age, since birth until the 6 years old. This is a long journey or sensitive period for the child to pick up the language itself. So that's why there are some data showing that if a child can expose to various of language when they're young, it's very easy for them to pick up the language by itself. So if we right now go and pick up another foreign language, it will be very, very challenging. Very challenging. You could try to do it. It's not that we cannot reverse it. Yes, we can reverse it. It's just that it's going to be a challenge for both parties, for the child and the adults as well. So then we look at the mathematics, early mathematics, and then there's when they reach 3.5 to 4 years old approximately, then they will be actually exposed to more we so-called academic mathematics, those traditional mathematics in the school. So early mathematics is actually happen when they're at home. So if you can recall your memory, when we feed our child, we say, come, one more bite, 2 more spoons, come on, you're going to finish it. So those are actually, we are actually instill the concept of that to the child when they're very young, 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, so all those things. And then when we do our clapping, so that is actually a pattern. So basically, mathematics is like a pattern. It's a series of patterns for children. So that's an early mathematics where they could get, they were actually stimulated when they were at home. So it's very fun to do maths at home, and language is just bombarded everyday life. So maths that we're going to mostly discuss today will be maths in the school. How we actually teach in the Montessori classroom, and how language was actually being taught in the classroom. Okay, so since you get to know about the sensitive period, so it will be the language since birth until 6 years old. Then maths is early maths. Mathematics will be from birth to 3.5 for some to 4 when they enter school at 4 years old, then 4 to 6 years old. That would be the sensitive period.
Then PPT and enlarge it.
But my PPT is the largest it can go now.
I mean the presentation. Okay, maybe the second slide. This on the first slide.
Yeah, this is the biggest that it can go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then perhaps I go to a very quick one. What are sensitive periods? Sensitive period just happen on certain period of time in the child developmental process. So it happens. It's just like you imagine the spotlight just spotlight on you at that certain period of time when you're at stage, but it only spotlight on you. But this actually the sensitive period will pass. There will be up and down on it. So to catch a sensitive period, it is not an easy task. But in a trained Montessori classroom, of course, the teachers can spot it easily in the classroom. Okay, so that is a sensitive period. Then we talk about, since we're going to talk about maths, so it's very interesting, but we are not really noticing that it's actually, we instill that everyday life in our daily life at home. On your way to school as well, actually, we do instill that to our children, just that we didn't mention it to them, that, hey, learns maths, okay? And perhaps we also didn't really notice about that. But first thing, we're going to talk about human tendency, a very quick one. We will talk about orientation. So we want to know what is our relationship between the environment, we and the environment. So when they enter to the new environment, they often want to look and touch at everything around them. That is what it is actually in the classroom. It happens in the classroom for the new children. They're coming in. Okay, some of them, they might be a bit timid to go, but eventually it's going to take quite some time for the children to go around. Sophie, is it big enough? Because I already enlarged my PPT. 聽到嗎? You unmute yourself, Sophie.
I can hear you, but you still hang at the slide 1.
Okay. Okay. This is mainly on the human tendency. So let me see how could I fit this.
Are you moving to slide 2 because sensitive period?
Yes. I already in slide 2. So okay, let's see. Let me see. Okay, so is it large enough?
Not really. Yeah.
这个是最大了的哦。I already enlarge it to the slide.
Yeah.
Can 你现在是看第2章吗？ Sorry, parents.
This is the third. Slide 3.
Yeah, orientation. Do you see the human tendency?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So this is the new slide, yeah. So when we talk about children, when they first come in, they really need time to go around exploring, and some of them, they might be a bit shy to go around, but it's okay. The adaptation, eventually they will adapt to the whole environment because they need time to orientate themselves to the new environment, and then the order. So we actually prefer order than chaos and confusion. So order is something that predictability and is actually brings security. That's why in the classroom, in the Montessori classroom, the classroom orders are very important for children because they will feel insecure. Even though we just move a little bit thing in the classroom, they will start to feel insecure. But then this is actually, when we have an orderly classroom, it actually helps the child to order their thoughts internally. So it's actually interlinking, and this order is actually going to bring forwards to mathematics later on. Then exploration actually is nature of human. Okay, since ancient time, prehistoric time, we are actually explorers. Humans are exploring our earth. So same goes to the classroom where we have sound, scent, texture, taste, and colors in Montessori classroom, where previously Ms. Sophie shared about sensoria. So all those are all the senses. So the exploration through senses, and then communication in the classroom. Then we have activities. So you will notice that classroom is actually stay busy. 我换了那个 slide 看到吗？
No, you still
我觉得
have
我的 connection
the slide 3.
okay okay, let me stop and then I share again. I think it's because of my connection line. Okay. This. Do you see my slide right now?
Yeah, right now it's slide 5.
Now?
Yeah, slide 5.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, parents, it's a line a bit slow over here. So then when we talk about activities, you'll notice that in the classroom, children are very busy. They have their work to do. They walk into the classroom in the morning, then perhaps they haven't really decided what they want to do in the morning. But eventually when they go around, they go and observe their friend, then they start to pick up their work. So therefore, in a Montessori classroom, we don't have that, especially for 3 to 6 years old classroom, we doesn't have timetable. We don't have timetable to do, okay, now there's this class, now there's that class. So basically, they have 3 hours of free times. So in that 3 hour in free time, it will be including the time where the children will work with teachers. Then manipulations, they need to know to understand their environment and what to do on the next step. Then work. Of course, they will feel so happy, they take pride on their work, children in the classroom. So these are the human tendencies. Another one is repetition. So repetitions are very important in the Montessori classroom. And then we're going to link that with
Sam, we can't hear you now.
sorry. So let me share it again. So then we're going to talk about the last one is going to say repetition. So how is actually children repeating their work in the classroom with the apparatus. It's not just one time or 2 times, they will repeat it in the whole journey of 3 to 6 years old, even when it's stretched up to elementary classroom. So therefore, if you notice that in the classroom, the apparatus that is more or less is similar, even though in the elementary classroom, because they need to do the repetition of work. And this repetition of work, what I mentioned, is through apparatus, but the repetition of work in the classroom as well, where children, they will keep repeating the same work again and again and again. So that is because that they want to perfect themselves, parents. The repetition is because they want to perfect themselves at that moment. So do not be shocked or surprised if your child just tell you, oh, mommy, today I did my pouring. Tomorrow, the same thing. Mommy, I do my pouring today. So don't worry, because that is actually naturally, they actually perfecting themselves. Definitely, they will need that repetition of work. They took pride of their works, and then they are satisfied when they feel like, yeah, I did it. Finally, I did it. So that is a human tendency in the Montessori classroom. So exactness. Do you see my changing of slide, Sophie?
Slide 4. No.
Now?
Now it's the next part, slide 4. Slide 4. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. So as long as you could hear me, then I just go ahead with it, okay? So, or else I need to reconnect again. Okay, it's okay. Then we talk about exactness. You know, like we do mention about how children love exactness. Ask us, do we like exactness? Sometimes we'll get upset when things are not there. When you need it, it's not there. You know, it's supposed to be there, but it's not there. So in the classroom as well, children will get upset because something was put back in the wrong place. And then you will notice that children, they will line up their thing nicely and neatly before they do work. This is because we are children, humans seek to be precise in their work. Doing something exactly right, you know, actually it brings a great satisfaction. So in the classroom, it's okay if you can't see my slide. Okay, I just talk, and then later I show you some other slide. So in the classroom, is actually you will notice how great children were. They will actually patiently wait for the tiny drop of water to be dripped into another jug. They just love it. It just brings them some great satisfaction when they see, I'm done. Great. when they do their maths or any other apparatus, they will be very satisfied if you see they arrange their work nicely and neatly. It's because it just, they love the precise in it. And in Montessori school, we noticed that many times previously, because we can have those events in the school, so we invite parents to come over. Then we noticed that, especially the younger children, the 3 to 6 years old, when they love that sense of orders and they're in the sensitive period of that, they will actually arrange your shoes, parent. They will arrange your shoes nicely in a row without being asking why. It's to feel the satisfaction, it's the work. Then we go to abstract. So abstract in the classroom, this is going to happen when they were in 5, 6 years old, when they're in elementary classroom. So it's truly characteristic to set apart, between human and the animals, abstraction. We can visualize the event that not yet occurred and able to feel and express emotion that are not tangible. We can imagine something that exists only in our mind and then take the step to make it happen. So that's also one of the human tendency. We can visualize things. And then perfections. So all this tendency culminate in this one. We have explore, manipulate, and work our environment, then we can perfect our activities. So you will see that this is actually gradually progressing in the classroom when it comes to perfection. So all these things is because of the human tendency, and it's because that we actually allowed this to be happen in the classroom, especially the repetition of work. So I hope that it put you in ease, that parents, why I know some of you keep saying, how come my child come back and just tell me the same thing, working on the same thing and the same thing every day, okay? So let's go to see on the maths part. Sophia, please tell me if you can see my slide. And now I'm going to share the...
I can right now. Yeah,
okay, now I share the slide. Can you see right now?
It is a slide 6. Now it's slide 6.
Okay, that is slide 6. So let's go. Let's enlarge it and see. Oops, sorry. Can you see now? The 6?
Yeah.
Okay, children display a universal love of mathematics, which is par excellence of science and precision, order, and intelligence. When we talk about this is of course in the period where I mentioned about from the birth to 3.5, 4 years old, before they really enter to the mathematics. The more traditional mathematics. So like when you're young, I'm sure that you love counting. You just count everything. Everything that you can count, you will count. So that's the love of it. We will do it. It's come naturally on us. Okay. So then let's see the mathematical mind from birth. Okay, we'll talk about the mathematical mind. Somehow it's like a misunderstanding myth on this part of it. It's just that people are so amazed to see how children can manipulate apparatus in the classroom, and they can work so well, and they're able to make it happen. So when we mention to some parents or friends, we say that, do you know that even our younger children, 5 years old, sometimes 5, they already did addition up to 1,000. Okay, 9,999 at 6 years old. So they were like, wow, how they do it. It's actually with the great help of the apparatus. Actually, it really is because they see something concrete, they work on it. I love it. I really envy what Montessori children have it right now, because I didn't have it at that time, and it's really struggle to learn maths for me. It's like I'll be very honest with you, when I'm in primary school, mathematics is like a roller coaster thing. It's like your heart is like going to stop any time for me. But then when I look at mathematics, when I step into the Montessori classroom, oof, I say, that's great. Why can't I have this when I'm young, to have a mathematics apparatus that could help? And it's just come like with a snap of fingers, and everything just come so easily and so clearly for you to manipulate the things. So that is a love of it. Then we go to, there's a few things. I'm going to introduce some of the apparatus in the classroom. So at least you will probably know about what and how it helps the child. So actually we have a big number rod here. If you join Miss Sophie talks, sharing last, in Montessori classroom, we have a sensoria, we call it red rods or the long rod. It's exactly the same. The length is actually the same, but the differences is only we make it into two parts of color, red and blue. You can't see, Sophie? You can't see the slide?
Can you move to slide 7?
Okay, go on.
Practical issue.
Yeah, not so such. I need to go slide 8 actually.
Slide 8, okay.
It's okay now in that big number rod. So you will see that is it in big number rod right now?
It is.
Okay. Then this big number rod that you see, it have two colors and red and blue. So it's to indicate to the child is 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 for them to do the calculation from 1 to 10. So then you will see that that's the next photo where the child is actually using a same big number, same kind of big number, but a smaller version. We call it small number. And that number is actually to help the child to do a addition within 10. So for the first children that are exposed to the big number rod, they do a lot of counting. They keep on repeating counting. Then gradually they even will notice that, hey, it looked exactly the same as the red rod, the long rod in the sensoria area. So then they will see how number will gradually grow from 1 to 10 in the length. And then they do the counting, they're repeating this. I put it together so you will see the connection of how they're going to use it in later on. So later on, they're going to use it in their mathematics, in their operation, like addition and subtraction. I will change it. Do you see why I changed my slide?
No, it is. You're supposed to go to slide 9, right?
Yes, yes.
It is hang at 8.
Okay, then let's see. I'm really sorry about it. But can you hear me clearly or no? You can hear me. So now it's sandpaper letter.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
Now it's the slide. Enlarge the slides to the.
Oh, really? Okay, so now we have the sandpaper numeral. So this actually to teach the child the symbols for the numbers he knows. We provide him actually, this is actually sandpaper. So when you trace it, it will actually stimulate the child's senses and actually creating an imprint memory in the child's mind. So this is how we're actually teaching the children, starting with the symbols of numbers and writing without really writing in the holding pencil to write it. So this is another kind of writing without writing, okay? Then it's actually be prepare them for future writing of numerals. And I start again on my slide. 那刚才我记得我 enlarge 小的，我 enlarge 你看到吗？很大了 ，enlarge。
Just now was, but right now no.
Or perhaps I log out first and I come in.
Yep.
Now it's okay.
Well, still like a site, not the enlarged version, but now it's at slide 10.
Yeah, because what I see here is the enlarged version, so I don't know what happened though.
Okay, doesn't matter. Then we just proceed.
Okay, then we have a number rod. Then after the child learned the number rod, the big number rod, the counting, then of course they come in a lot of other activities as well under the number rod. And then they learn sandpaper letters. Then they will actually relate it. The symbols and the quantities for the child, like what you see the voice is doing right now. It's actually associate the numbers with the big number rod. So he making a connection right now. And then also to introduce the sequence of the symbol. Then we have the spindle box. So spindle box is something very fun here because it is to introduce the concept of zero.
Sam, right now, slide 10.
Okay.
You're talking about spindle box, right?
Yes. Or on a if you don't mind, I log out again, then I connect it with another internet because I Wi-Fi. So I think is a Wi-Fi problem here.
Yeah.
Okay, just a while. Okay.
Parents, thank you for your patience. But anyway, do you still have any questions or any things you want to highlight while waiting for Sam to introduce to you the lessons of Montessori mathematics? And then I think the objective is like we share with you the way that we teach in the classroom, and then we would like you to extend to carry on the Montessori at home. This is our whole idea. So do we have any questions or any doubt or anything you would like to highlight while waiting? We just don't want to wait the time because of the technical issue today. Anything, Stephen? Or it's fine. Thank you. Because majority of you are just hide the camera. The whole set of Montessori apparatus is actually a scientifically proved apparatus for them to know from the solids, the quantity, and then knows all the symbols, then gradually know all the idea of numbers. So mathematics is such a logical thing for the students to explore accordingly. And then if you have the mathematical, and all of us have the mathematical mind, just like how are we going to handle it, master it, and then familiar with this one? Yes. We have some new parents joining in. Don't hesitate to raise your questions regarding the Montessori mathematics, or how you have fun to work with the student at home to do the mathematics. Any tips to join? Yeah.
I'm back. I'm so sorry. Then I need to do it one more time for. So far, parents, do you have any doubt or questions about it and how it was actually run in the classroom?
Yes, just I asked the things okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then pray for the best. Okay. Now you see my slide.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go for the spindle box. This is the one.
Size 11, but it is
so
not
now
version. It's not an enlarged version.
Okay. So I read enlarge it, but it just didn't enlarge in your site. So I have no idea why.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Then you just
okay. So then let's go to the spindle box. This spindle box required a lot of concentration and order. So this order is actually coming in. Actually, the order came in. I didn't mention it just now, even in the big number rod. So they need to have the sense of orders, and they're able to differentiate it. The line between the line and then the 1, 2, 3, the sequence of it. And then when it comes to this spindle box, actually they need to, they hold on the spindle, then they will know it's getting more and more and more. Okay, like 1, they will put in 1, 2, they will put in 2 spindles, 3, they will put in 3 spindles, and so on until the 9. But with ours, we will leave the 0 as it is as 0. It's because we want the child to discover the 0 without being mentioned by the adult. So it is fun. Then basically most of the child, they will get it. Then they will ask, how come teacher there's nothing in here? Then we'll actually let them know that is 0. 0 means nothing. So it is a great discovery of 0 at this young age, and it's very, very fun. And then, so you might ask in a classroom, how do we check their work? I mean, do we supervise them? No, actually, basically we have the apparatus. They have the control of error on the apparatus itself. For example, if the child misplaced it, let's say 8, the child put 9, then definitely when it comes to the compartment of 9, it will be not enough to have 9 spindles on it. Then the child will realize, oh, perhaps somewhere is not correct. Then the child will redo it again. So this is all the apparatus in Montessori classroom. We have control of error. It doesn't necessarily to have a teacher to be there to tell them, this is wrong, this is incorrect. Well, they can always recheck their answer again by themselves with the help of the control of error of the apparatus itself. So cards and counter.
Can you change to slide 12?
Okay, let's see. And counter. So I have to go out and come in, go out and come in again. Then, okay. Then we have cards and counter. So this is actually to teach about odd and even numbers. You see, I remember my time. Odd and even number is like I just have to memorize odd and even. You can't even see things in odd and even, but in here the children can easily pick up odd and even numbers. Do you notice there's a pattern on it? Mathematics is all about patterns, analyzed and able to compute and use numerical in relationship. This is how they develop into here. Then we just visually look at it, then they'll know, oh, that's a different. I saw one is only have there's no friend. There's no friend. This is alone, only one. So then we will have them see the pattern of it. Then they will notice, there's a differences on that. But at the same time, they actually also reinforce. We also reinforce and enhancing their skill 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. And then we will have them let them know that you look at 1 is only 1. There's no friend with it with the counter. So this is what we call odd number. And 2, which is a friend, so this is an even number. Then we will show them. We will have them to point out which one have friends and which one that doesn't have friends. So odd and even number. So it learns in a very fun way. And of course, they will have other activities as well. Even for our, elder kids, like our 5 years old, sometimes they will love to repeat this work. But then, of course, they need to do recording. So for the 5 and 6 years old, or those that are able to do recording, we will have them to do recording on papers and in their own writing books. Then I have to help and share it. This is a huge changes when it comes to this part. It will be the sorry, I'm still in that one, which is the golden bits. Children learn about decimal. 看到吗, Sophie?
Yes. Slide 13.
Okay, so this is to introduce to quantity. We use the golden bits tray. It's actually totally two different pictures, but I want you to see the relationship in between how it works in the classroom. So here we have 1,000, 1,000, and then 900, and then we have 910 bars, and then we have 9 units. So we have the child to know that what is unit, the hierarchy of the in the mathematics. So they will know units 10, 100, and 1,000. So what the girls is doing right now, what is an activities that we call it passing 9. So passing 9 means that they need to learn, if I have one more, what will happen? This is the concept of decimal, early decimal introduced to children. And then they will know if I have one more units in 9, I will have 10 units, then it will become 110. So it will move to the next hierarchy, the concept of the decimal system. And this concept, they can repeat it for so long and so many times, and children love to work on it, especially when it comes to the next step, when it comes to the group operation. Not yet.
Slide 15.
Okay, all right. Okay. This should be able to see now.
Yes. Slide.
Okay, so then we have a symbol by using the number card. We have the large number card and the small number card to teach them about the symbol, the writing, and how we actually write 1,000, 100, 110 and 1 units look like. And then this later on, when the child picks up, and then the child will actually move into group operation, then they will do a lot of, they will actually make connection of this. But you see what's the girl she's doing right now? She take out the amount that required. So she actually creating the value, and then she's going to pick up the golden bits. So this is the number cards that we have. Then I would like to share this with you. The part where they have is the group operation. So we call it group operation by using the golden bits. If you see how orders come in, repetition, it keep being repeating, and then the progress is gradually progressing in the classroom, and it will bring the child to here they could work independently. Of course, they work with teachers for the first few times. The teachers introduce. Then later on, it's actually not supposed to be look like this. Actually, it's supposed to be a bit.
Yeah, her line is unstable. We can't hear her. But this is a group operation to do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and
Is it clear, Sophie?
Yeah, you hang for a while. Yeah, you continue.
Okay, my internet connection is a bit unstable, but parents, if there's anything you could raise out and say, hey Sam, I can't hear you. Okay. At least you let me know, because I hear nothing from my side. So okay, then we go to the group operation. They do addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. There's parent asking, hey, how come you are doing addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division, but not addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division? But actually, addition and multiplication, they are the same concept. The same concept, okay? The answer that they got actually eventually getting larger. So for subtraction and division is actually getting lesser. So we actually put them in such a way it's very easy for children to pick up the group operation, the addition with the multiplication. Because actually, if we learn multiplication, there is an addition in multiplication as well. The children can count multiplication in an addition way. Eventually, this is how they started to pick up multiplication. So we group them in the sense of that. And then it's really fun. If this work in a group, parents, right before pandemic, they work in a group. We have a banker. The banker, is the one that very proud. They always want to be the banker. And then they will do exchange. They have to go to the banker to do exchange. Someone will need to be as teachers. So basically, they can just take out the apparatus and work by themselves. So at the age of 5, 6 years old, especially, they can work independent in the group operation. This is quite frequently you will notice when you step into the Montessori classroom, children will work on this piece of apparatus. Okay, so they fetch the amount, and then they add it. Then they will have to double check. We have a card for them. We have a question card where they can make their own. They can check their answer, because there is another answer card for them to check. So this is for the group operation. Then we have the formation of number. Oh, this is really a big project in the classroom. Oh, sorry, which I haven't changed, right? So sorry. Yes. Okay, so let's see. Let me put.
Just a little bit add on for the operation, like addition is the add together, and then multiplication is put the same number again and again. Yeah. And then subtraction is like take away, and then division is like divided equally. So these are some of the simple ideas that you can explore to the students to pick up. Yes.
And it's really fun, parents. As I mentioned earlier, I'm so envy that why I can't have this in my school last time. I mean, just make things so easy. Then I can answer you. If I have these things in my school last time, I would say, yeah, I'm a maths person. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I really love the mathematics in Montessori classroom is really, if I could say, if we have a magic wand in the Montessori classroom, that will be the magic wand. The mathematics is really makes things happen.
It's like a second life for you, and then we explore to all the abstract idea.
Yes, how concrete, and then turn it into abstract, and it's just, it was beautiful. Okay, so do they call that a fairy dust? Yes, it's just a fairy dust in the classroom. It did the wonder and the magic. So then we have the formation of numbers. So how children combine all the numbers together. So then we have like this, they combine all the numbers they learned with the value, with the golden bits. This is 9,999. At the end, if you see they stack up the 9,000 and they were like, woo. So when they talk about works and satisfaction, enormous satisfaction in here. This is how it come about when we have to go back to the human tendency. So then we have, I just show you this picture here so you will see how it actually works. How we do exchange, how we do addition in the classroom. This is how they actually need to order and arrange it in the classroom. STEM game. Oh, I haven't changed? Already changed? Okay, haven't? Okay. Then we move to STEM game. This is more to individual work. And basically, the apparatus is in loose form. In loose form, so it will be more challenge for the kids.
Yes.
Okay. So then we have the STEM game in here. So they're doing their individual work. Basically, when it comes to STEM game, because they have a previous experience with the golden bits, then they can move it into a scale where they can work by themselves. And everything in this loose form and in printed form, in tablet form. So whereas when they learn in golden bits, it's all 3D. Now it's flat, it's only 2D printed version. So then they work on it. This is where concentration orders need to come in. And I have to link this with practical life. Practical life from what they are right now. If they come to this stage, they really need a lot of focus and concentration in here. It's really come from practical life. So don't be surprised if your child keeps telling, I'm working on practical life every day. That's a good sign, okay? So then same thing, the steps game, they can work on the 4 operation. So then in here, they also work in decimal with exchange and without changing. It depends on in what level the child are at the moment. So basically, they can work with all 4 operations, exchanging and without exchange. So this will be the STEM game. Challenge though, because their concentration and focus is really need to be like 100% in here when they do this work. And when they work, even though few questions, the children, you can feel, you can see how happy they were when they complete their work. They're like, yes. Even just do few questions, but it's quite challenging. It's all in loose form. Okay. So then we have, when it comes to traditional naming, so we're asking how they learn the traditional naming. So we have something called, I haven't changed, Sophie? Have I? Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to.
Okay. Let's see. So then we have a learning traditional name. We have something called Sagan board here. Sagan board A and B. So where the child associate the printed version, the tablet into the board, and then they have to associate with the golden bit and the color bits to form the value. So this is how it would look like. And then the child, at this time, we will actually encourage the child to record the work. Recording the works. Okay, for those that not really willing to or feel challenged at this right moment, well, we could have them to paste the number instead of they can paste the bits and they can paste the number as well. So it's not necessarily must be recording, writing, recording, but it can be pasting, recording work at the same time. So this is for them to learn the traditional naming, the name and the symbol. It goes up to 99. Then we have snake game. Then we have snake games in here. Let's see, snake game. Snake game is actually for our classroom. Basically, it will be like 6 years old. They will work on the snake game. Snake game is something very fun to do, and they can create their own answer. They can create their own question. So all they need to do, they arrange the color bits, and then they have to count. So they know that because they have this previous experience in counting, exchanging, then they will know that when they count up to 10, they need to do exchange with 110 bars, and then so on. And then at the end, they will have a snake with either white tail or black tail. So why we call snake game is to be fancy. It's very fancy in the classroom when we call snake game. Children will love it. They will thought that, hey, what happened? But we just create a pattern like a snake, you know, just make it very fancy words on that, a snake game. Yeah, colorful snake. And then they love the counting, but the counting part, it might not be the most challenging. I noticed that when I work on this, when I first hands on this many years ago, I found it the most challenging part is that if I were a child, I would find it very challenging is that when I need to double check my answer, I need to compare again and form every 10 bars with my bits and to ensure that it is equal, that is tally. So that will be the most challenging part actually for children. And which I love it when they come to here, they find challenge, but yet they don't give up. They just love it. They love it. Children love challenging works. When they are ready to be challenged, they love it. So this is one of that is to reinforce the knowledge, addition and multiplication and also subtraction. But basically for a very young age, like in 3 to 6 years old classroom, they will actually up to addition and subtraction, most of it, subtraction. Then we go to, this is more advanced, what we call the mathematical board. Let me change first then. The mathematical board. This is the board, the charts that we have in the classroom. And children like doing all the 4 operations by using the board. So this will be, I could say that it is really a 3D thing. It's flat printed on the chart. And it requires really a lot of concentration in here. They spend so much time. I could say it's one sit. Sometimes you could see the children, they can patiently do their work in one sit, 40 minutes. Some can up to 1 hour. It should be no problem at this time because they are already trained all the while, as I mentioned, in practical life, where it's actually trained their concentration, coordination. And this is actually eventually what they learn when they are in practical life. This is how they actually use it in when it comes to more academic, I can say more academic subject in the classroom. So this is a very fun, and the board is not just one board. We actually have a multiplied board of that. So let's say addition, we have 3 or 4 boards, and then multiplication, we have 4 boards. So they can work on different kind of boards that they want to challenge themselves. They can choose which board that they want to work with. So at the end of the board parent is actually empty, is blank. So they will have this memory, the memory of the numbers in their mind already. So all they need to do is just they know that 3 times 3, 9. Then they need to fetch a tablet that printed with 9 and put it on the place where it's supposed to be. So this is how gradually we train children and the progress, and also to their memory, to enhance their memory at the end. So abstract doesn't come in a snap of fingers. It really counts by time, okay, TIME, time. It really took a very long time for the train, but my time we are forced to memorize it, so that's a big difference. Okay, so then there's another one. So perhaps parent, I can put the language for another sharing though, because I don't think I could do language at the same time today. So I will put it for next time on sharing on the language. So let's go. The next will be, this is we call our chain cabinet. So we have our 1,000 and 100 chain cabinet. And so this is where we learn the square and the roots. Square and roots, that actually learn it when they are in elementary classroom. But for a very young age, 3 to 6 years old classroom, we still have this, is because that first they could actually see it. They see it, and then basically then they need to count. They need to use this to do skip counting. So for example, a chain of 4 at the bottom, you see the yellow, the chain of 4, then they count 1, 2, 3, 4, then they put the 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, they put the 8. Then the child will notice, hey, there's a pattern in here. So the pattern is actually, we tell them this is what we call skip counting. Isn't that this pattern, parent, is also the timetables where we are forced to memorize when we were young? but in here they could see it. They could see it, and later on, when they into another level, we will bring in the square. So we'll let them see how it's actually form a square. 4 times 4 equals 16. So it's the same. If you stretch out the chain, it will be 16 as what you learned earlier. And so when they go to elementary classroom, they will learn how to form the square, and then they also learn how to form a cube in elementary classroom. So these are the mathematics mainly. I didn't show you everything, parents. I love to have you to come in, but not at this moment of time. I really love to have you, especially when we talk about maths. It's really nice to come in so you look at how it works. Maths apparatus work in the classroom. I'll pray for the best. So hopefully that in near future, we could have you to come into the classroom, step in, then you could see how children really works inside the classroom. So mainly these are some of the just some. I just be very honest with you, just some of the mathematical apparatus that I share with you today. So that is let me check. So mainly that's my sharing of the apparatus part. So if you have any question, please do post it and unmute yourself, and you could ask. Maybe you have questions and I say, how could I teach my child at home? How can I apply Montessori mathematics at home? So I love to see your face, parent, or is it because of my line problem? I can't see any one of you. I'm not so sure about it.
Well, while waiting for the cross and the question from parents, we would like to share with you, we are a partner. We are the children learning partner. So from the school, we provided a lot of the information. And then for the mathematics, we would like to share with you the whole idea of bird's eye view. How we carry from the very concrete, like number rods, golden beads, and then go to the semi-concrete, like stamp games. And then eventually they do a lot of mathematics board games. So this is an idea, but I don't know whether you will question, I don't have the apparatus at home. How can I carry on the Montessori at home? So I mean, these are some of the cross. You raise the questions, and then we really would like to assist you if the students have the mathematical mind since young. So it will be a big help. So we are the learning partner, and then we cooperate together to work together, and then to raise the students within, to build them from within. So any questions from parents?
Yes, is it Tyler, mom? Tyler?
Yes. Sorry, not convenient to turn on my video. Sorry. I was so impressed that I'm actually just know very little about Montessori, but I totally agree with the Montessori method, and I was so impressed that just now when you mentioned about the children find the error themselves, which is, I think, is very, very good. I was just about to ask if because you mentioned about teacher didn't really sit beside every child to teach them and all this. So just about what if they do it wrongly? Then it's totally about their find the error because of the apparatus able to do it, which is I'm really impressed about it. But just one question about how did if the children have to go to select the correct name number, I'm not good at that.
Okay.
So if they're going to select the apparatus, how do the little child, because Tyler was just 3, will he be guided? Oh, okay, this will be your set of apparatus that's suitable for him. Rather than he jump into the golden beach that he do not know how it goes actually. Thank you.
Okay. There's I mean, I get 2 questions over here. First is that because of the apparatus itself, we have control error. How teachers find out, or how the child going to know, did I make any mistake? Or how teachers know did the child make mistake? Of course, actually, we in the classroom, teachers are mobile in the classroom. So we are like helicopter going around without being noticed. Okay, the helicopter that without notice by children. Then we actually will take notes. We take notes, especially on the children that the first 2 times they work on the apparatus. We will take notes. We will actually pay attention on that particular child, and then I think nothing's wrong with making mistake. It's great to make mistake, parents. With mistake only then we know how to correct it, right? So I think eventually everything in our life is come from mistake. Only then we have the right thing. So in the classroom, it's fine for the child to work on it. Then we will actually sometimes worry, what if it happened again and again and again and again in the classroom? Well, actually the childs are very smart, they will sometimes they notice the more they work on it, then they know, hey, that's not right. As I mentioned, like just now, the spindle box, the child might make mistake for the first few times, and then later on, when the teachers notice, the teacher will do a repetition of that work. So now what I mentioned in here, if the teacher noticed, we will do repetition. We will introduce again, because the introducing parents, perhaps let's say I introduce to child A, and then the child A make a mistake. But then will I immediately jump in and correct the child? No, I will not. Perhaps the next day I will do a presentation to the child B. I will purposely put child B closer to the child A. So eventually the child A will have his or her, revision again without being revised.
Sorry.
Yes.
In fact, I totally child making mistake. Let them make mistake. I think
mistake are great. We don't have to be so. Sometimes we are too overwhelmed with mistake. We are like so worried about making mistake. So no worry about that part. Because the same kind of lesson, we will run it again many times in the classroom. So the children will have a chance to see again, observe again and again and again. And the child is not the only one that doing the apparatus. So the child will have a chance to see how his friend to work on the apparatus. So that's a great part of the classroom. The repetition is not just on the child, he or herself, but it's also the whole environment that's being created to allow the repetition to be happen. So basically, it's very easy for the child to identify his or her mistake in the classroom because of the apparatus itself. And then when it comes to the children's selection, the second question, how the child know what things to select. What if the child jump into the golden bit? Fine, let's do it. If the child really want to do it, well, I tell you, the child are very smart. So for first time, the child will be like, oh, this seems like not my level. So the child will not touch it the next time. But the child will go to work on that piece of practice when he or she is ready. So we never worry about that. Although that, yes, we have apparatus that for this age group, but we never limit our child to explore. Montessori classroom is a big, can I say, it's like you walk into the forest, there's so much thing to explore, and it's so fun to be explored. And so it's an explore. Okay, I put it in this way: exploration journey in the Montessori classroom. So we don't mind the children to pick up whatever that might interesting them or eye-catching to them. So yeah, so they can work on it.
I think the whole idea of mixed ages group is like they have a lot of chances, free choices to pick up works by themselves. Yes. And then in the meanwhile, they also have the chance to observe like other students, peer doing the same apparatus again and again. And then the apparatus itself is a scientifically proved to have the idea of like self corrections and
Yes,
self drive. So these are the whole idea of the mixed ages with the few areas, and then we display all the apparatus accordingly.
yes.
So well, it's an environment affected. Yes.
Yes, yes. So I hope that it is clarified your mind. So is there other questions? So perhaps like what Miss Sophie asked?
Thank you so much. You cleared everything. Very good. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. As I mentioned, if the moment of time really allowed, we would love to have parents to come and observe the classroom. That's what we did last time, but it's just not at this right moment.
Yeah. During
So-
pandemic, it's such a regret.
So
Yeah.
so parents like perhaps that you might think about, well, my child's come back and then I don't know how to teach my child. I'm not a Montessori trained, so what can I do? You know, I don't have the apparatus in my home, so what can I do? Well, I could recommend you. There's one website. It's called Montessori at Home. You could search it in Facebook. So they were actually run by a group of parents where they run a Montessori. They do a homeschool, and how they actually run and teach their children during the pandemic time at home. So they do a lot of, they're very creative. They come up with a lot of way to teach, and apparatus they make by themselves. Montessori mathematics apparatus is actually very easy to make. Okay, let's say if you don't want to make, you have beads. Beads are easily available. You can just get online beans, red beans, or black beans or big beans. They can use those for counting. Anything that is concrete that can allow them to count, that will be great. You can use that at home. So no worry. If you really have nothing, fingers are the best things that they can count as well, right? That's what we did when we were young. Okay, at what age that we shall expose children to the exactness of the age, you mean? So probably about 6 years old, 6 years old. But it is not an exact thing I could really tell you, because it can happen when the child actually joins us at a very young age. Sometime when they reach 4.5, 5, they will start to have that interest at like 4.5. They could work in multiplication. The simple multiplication without action by using golden beads. So there's no exact thing in the classroom actually.
Yeah. I think for Clara, for those students who join us since very young, 2.5. So the idea, if you want to expose them, the idea, the concept of multiplication is put the same amount again and again. Yes. So you put the same amount like 2 again and again, then they will know. Yes. And then division is like divided equally, because subtraction is take away certain number, but division is divided equally. So for some of the students, they join us since young, they have an idea how to pick up the multiplication and division according to their understanding, because they also have the other chances to observe the elder students doing the same apparatus. Yeah. Did I answer you, Clara, Mom?
Yes, thank you.
Will you feel like, oh, I don't have the apparatus at home, how can I continue the Montessori at home? I don't have time to do a lot of apparatus at home. do any of you have the doubt on this, or you are ready for this?
I think as long as you have something for your child to hold on and to count, that will do. Okay, so actually, Montessori is not something that you think is very fancy. No, you could actually easily do it at home. Montessori at home, you can apply it everyday life. So how should I say in everyday life, like when you work, let's say you are cooking, perhaps you can ask your child, could you help me to get 2 cups of water? That is actually a mathematic. You're actually setting the concept to your child. Okay, what you could ask the child, could you please cut this? I need 2 of this and 3 of this. That is actually an addition concept. It's just that you don't have to think maths, mathematical mind means only thinking of mathematical. It is far more than that. It's only a concept that we could give it to the child. You always can occupy your child. If you have time, if you have time, you can occupy them a lot. Okay, let's read 3 pages. And you read 1 page. Okay, that's actually, you are giving out a mathematical concept to the child. Unconsciously, you actually, yeah. So as long as you have things for them to count, pencil, eraser, beads. During the pandemic last year, we have the MCO, although that we gave out apparatus to children, but sometimes they might lose a piece here and there. So we just ask them, you just get whatever you have at home, an eraser, color pencil, whatever that can help you to count and count. So that's Montessori. Okay. So, and about maths, is there any doubts that you have, or you have any doubts of like how it actually run in the classroom? So is there anything? Sorry, I can't see.
Different students have different level, because thing is just starting. So a lot of the apparatus we need to go through one by one. But for his understanding and pick up his understanding of the mathematical mind, because the numbers, and then we need to introduce a lot of the apparatus to him first before we proceed. But the golden bits is like, we will introduce to them, like this is unit, this is 10, this is 100, and this is 1,000. Because for them, it's just like a toys, right? It's a solid toys for them to explore. So once they know this is called unit 10, 100, and 1,000, so they have a group of friends, like this is banker, and then we have friends, 3 friends to play together. They put the numbers together, and then they divide it equally, and they take away. So this will be a game for them to explore. Sooner or later, I think within second, because he's 5 years old, and then second quarter, it should be no issue.
Yes,
This is our plan for the students. Because for them, it's just a naming. They are toys, yeah.
And eventually,
eventually
the classroom environment is actually giving the child a chance to learn without really touching the apparatus, but he could hear it every day.
They observe.
Every day. Children will come, and then they know that, oh, I yet to learn this. Teacher haven't teach me this, but they can sit with their friend, and then they could just listen and observe how they work. So that is also a big part of learning. Observation are very important for the child development. Because
we call it no stress learning.
Yeah, no stress learning. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Miss Sophie. I think the parents can invest to buy the golden bits. Yeah, because I bought one set for my kids.
Wow.
And we think it's like she's a seller. She's selling lollipops. So we have playing games like, how many you got 5,000 lollipops. You're selling how many to me? Then we are playing games like this. So this is how she gets the idea of like 1,000 is like that much.
Yes.
Okay, bits is like so unit is so little.
Yes.
So it's quite fun.
Yeah, amazing. Wow. Thumbs up to you. First time I have a parent that invests in golden bits.
Yes, actually, you can, because we have Shopee, Lazada, or maybe Taobao.
Yes. Now it's quite cheap.
From Taobao. I bought it from Taobao, about 100 plus. Not very expensive.
Okay.
The quality is quite nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I agree with the parents. I also recently got the alphabets one, the red and blue. So then
LMA, large movable alphabet.
I bought that too.
I do not know how to use it, so I just some out. So then somehow he learned about A. Then he picked it up, and then because I did sing song, I'm a music teacher, okay, so I sing song, sing whatever for him. So then I will put the alphabet CAT, something like that. So then I will sing, the phonic song. Then he will correct.
Oh.
Will do like that lah. So I
Yes.
think, but I totally agree that when the children have less stress, there's a time that no expectation from parents lah. And for myself lah, I just really treat it as a game. If he sound it wrongly or he didn't do it, I will not upset or whatever. I just totally leave it as just a game, all right? If you can do it, then great. If not, it's okay. Just a fun game. So
Yes.
maybe in that way, then he will found like he will willing to play a game.
Yes, play a game. Yes, true.
Yeah, but for the large movable alphabet, there's another like writing without writing. Because when their fine motor skill, their hand-eye coordination have not really well developed, you take out the large movable alphabet for them to blend the sound, to be able to say out the short phonetics. They'll feel very comfortable, and then they only read aloud. They don't need
Yes.
to write, because writing is another stage of the skill that they
Yes.
give.
And that one I leave it to teacher.
Well, when he's ready.
When he's
Responsible.
When he's
for
ready. When he's ready to write, he will write. Imagine they will pick up pencil and they start to write. So we no worry about that. It happens to us naturally. It will happen to them naturally as well.
Yes.
When actually they show more interest,
Yes.
when I bought the alphabet sets. Oh, is it? I got this in school. So
Wow.
I start playing with him. Oh, the teacher showed me how to do this one, that. I was struggling at first. I want to buy the magnet one, or it's like easier.
Yeah.
Then in the end, actually, I choose the Montessori, exactly the school, like the
I
same
see.
as the school. But I think I made the correct choice.
Wow, well done,
Really
well
like
done.
it.
Wow.
I think I better save more money. I agree with Samantha. Use the home thing.
Yes, like maths. Yes, you can use a lot of home things. for
Another
maths.
idea is I like to count from because we have 2 levels, counting the steps.
Yes, yes.
So I do forward counting and backward counting.
That's great. That's great.
So when he was 2, he already can count to 20, and then
Yes,
forward counting also can count back already.
yes,
So
yes.
to me, again, I treat it as a game, so
Yes.
that they
Yes, and then if you can actually cultivate, add in like practical life at home, you will notice that will be more fun for the kids. Involve them, especially like kitchens thing. Oh, they love
Yes,
that.
I just about to say cooking.
Yes,
I
they
love
love it.
to shallot for mommy.
Yes.
Or do something like
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So you see, at the same time, you're not just instill the mathematic concept, but you also teach language at the same time. So that is one stone kill 2 birds. You got it. That's a very creative way. Yeah. I'm sure the kids will love it. They'll really love it. It's not as difficult as you think Montessori it is. It's no. Just use whatever you have it at home. We call it Montessori at home.
Yeah. Welcome to raise your question, not
Yes.
only like during our parental.
Yeah.
Any more questions? If not, then we call it a day. We really would like to share with you all the concrete apparatus, but now we can only meet up through Zoom.
Yeah.
Anything else, teachers?
And our parents are inform you about supposed to be today maths and language, but they can't really make it. So I will inform you about the language one. Will be sharing about the language with you. Okay. So if there's nothing, I would like to say thank you so much.
Thank you for
Actually,
your time.
Maths is not as difficult as it is. It is very fun if we make it fun.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, if we make it fun, it is very fun. Okay, everyone can be a maths person. Everyone can be in a Montessori classroom. Everyone can be a maths person. You will not feel challenged, but you love the challenge in maths in the Montessori classroom. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you, parents. Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.